Howdy, folks. Welcome into Gun Sanctuary, where we call it like we see it. Now let me ask you something. How bad does it grind your gears when you drop your hard-earned cash on a gun, only to find it's about as reliable as a politician's promise? Today, we're talking about 7 guns that just ain't worth the money. Buckle up, y'all, because this list is gonna make some folks madder than a bull in a fly swarm. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, let's lay it out plain and simple. It's based on my experience, my calluses, and my unfiltered Texan truth. So, if you're tired of wasting your money, stick with me, because I'm not holding back. Let's kick off with the M&P 22 Magnum. When I first got my hands on this thing, I wanted to love it. I mean, I've got a soft spot for the M&P line and their M&P 57. Hell, that's one of my favorites. But this .22 Magnum version, it's like buying a bull that can't plow. Here's the deal. The M&P 22 Magnum has all the right features on paper. Great ergonomics, a smooth trigger, even a red dot mount. But none of that matters when it's unreliable as hell. This thing jams more than a radio on a bad station. And for a rimfire cartridge, that's already playing with fire. If you're thinking about spending your money on one of these, do yourself a favor and save up for the M&P 57. Sure, it's a little pricier, but it's worth every penny. Don't waste your hard-earned cash on something that won't go bang when you need it to. Tell me this, what good is a gun if it can't fire when you need it?
What's wrong? Gun jam?
Ain't that the whole damn point? Now, I know some of y'all might clutch your pearls over this next one, but hear me out. The Beretta Cheetah DX. Yeah, it's Italian. Yeah, it's a looker. But just like a sports car that breaks down every 20 miles, this gun's all bark and no bite. For starters, it's too expensive for what it is. You're paying double what you'd shell out for something like the Ruger Security 380. And what do you get? A gun that's bulkier, less ergonomic for fellas with big old paws like mine, and honestly kinda average when it comes to shootability. And don't even get me started on the competition. Guns like the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 or the Ruger Max, they're smaller, just as capable, and way easier on the wallet. Unless you're a die-hard Beretta fan or a collector looking to fill out your cabinet, the ADX just ain't worth it. Why buy steak when all you're getting is sizzle? Alright, this one's gonna sting me as much as it stings some of y'all. Souped-up lever guns. Look, I get it. You've seen John Wick taking down bad guys with a tricked-out lever-action rifle, and you want to feel like the star of your own Western. I hear ya. But let me tell you, these guns are style over substance, plain and simple. Spending $3,000 on a lever gun with MLOK rails, suppressors, and fancy optics? That's a big old pile of nope. They're heavy, clunky, and still don't perform anywhere near as well as a modern AR-15 or AK. Hell, even a plain stock Henry or Marlin is gonna give you better bang for your buck. Now, if you're living in one of those states where your rights are getting squeezed tighter than a steer in a chute, a lever gun might be your best option. But for the rest of us, save your money. Spend it on a reliable semi-auto that'll actually hold up when it counts. Do you want to pay thousands for something that looks cool on a wall or something that'll get the job done? Coming in hot at number 4, we've got the Tommy-built T-36. And honestly, just about every Tommy-built gun out there. Look, I get it. They look cool as hell. You see one on the wall and you're thinking, man, I gotta have that. But here's the hard truth. These things are a nightmare in the reliability department. I wanted to love the T-36. What I got instead was a paperweight. Malfunctions left and right, regardless of what ammo or mags I used. And when I thought I might have just gotten a bad apple, I bought another one. Same story. It didn't take long before I realized that the whole damn bushel was rotten. Even their newer offerings, like the Tommy-built MP7 clone, have proven to be duds. Just look up Grand Thumb's review if you don't believe me. Bottom line, if you want a gun that looks like an H&K, spend the extra dough and get the real deal. Otherwise, you're just buying a headache. Would you spend thousands on a truck that breaks down every time you try to haul something? then why do it with a rifle? Alright fellas, let's talk about cheap 2011s. And before anyone starts hollering, I know the 2011 platform is a dream for most shooters. You're talking about buttery triggers, pinpoint accuracy, and enough swagger to make the competition jealous. But here's the kicker. When you cheap out on a 2011, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Take the Girsan 2011 for example. On paper it sounds like a deal. Fancy looks, sub 1,000 price tag. But once you take it to the range, the cracks start showing. Heavy triggers, unreliable performance, and optics mounts that wouldn't survive a stiff breeze. If you're buying a 2011, you expect precision and speed. But with these budget models, you're just getting a dressed-up lemon. If you're dead set on getting into the 2011 game, I'd say save your cash and start with something like the Springfield Prodigy. And even then, it's a bit of a gamble. Honestly, you're better off saving up for a Staccato or grabbing a CZ Shadow 2 instead. Those'll never let you down. Alright, number 2 is gonna rile up some folks, but hear me out. Bullpup rifles. Now, I'll admit these things look futuristic as hell. And back in the day, they were hyped up to be the next big thing. But here's the deal. If you're living in the good old US of a Bullpups just don't make sense. Sure, they've got a compact design, and keeping that barrel length while shrinking the overall size is nifty. But the drawbacks? Oh boy. You're reloading and clearing malfunctions in your armpit. And let me tell you, there ain't nothing tactical about sniffing your own pit sweat while trying to fix a jam. I've run the Taver, AUG, Desert Tech MDR, and even my personal favorite, the Springfield Hellion. They're all fun range toys, but once you start pushing them hard, their limitations become clear. Add the price, $2,000 or more for most of these, and you start realizing you could get a damn fine AR-15 or AK for half the price. Now, if you're living somewhere with heavy restrictions, or you just gotta scratch that Call of Duty itch, the AUG A3, X95, or Hellion might be worth considering. But for most folks looking for a reliable home defense or duty rifle, stick to something practical. Why wrestle with a bullpup when an AR-15 can do it better, faster, and cheaper? Alright y'all, here's the big one. Any AR-15 priced over $2,000. Now don't get me wrong, I love me a good high-end rifle. My Novesks, Daniel Defenses, and BCMs are like family to me. But here's the plain truth. For most folks, spending that much on an AR-15 just doesn't make sense. Why? Because there are so many fantastic options in the $1,000 to $1,500 range that'll do 99% of what the high-end rifles can. Brands like Springfield, Sig Sauer, IWI, and my personal favorite BCM make ARs that are tough, accurate, and ready to run right out of the box. Unless you're a high-speed operator burning through tens of thousands of rounds a year, you're not gonna notice the difference. And even then, those folks ain't buying their own rifles. Their units are footing the bill. For the rest of us, dropping $2,000 or more is just buying bragging rights. And hey, if you've got the cash and you just want to flex, go for it. But don't kid yourself into thinking it's a necessity. Why pay extra for bells and whistles you'll never use? Now, let me be clear. If you want any of these guns because you think they're cool, go ahead and buy them. It's your money, and nobody's gonna tell you how to spend it. But if you're looking for practicality, reliability, and value, steer clear of these 7 and put your cash towards something that won't let you down. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your buddies. And remember, support your local shelters, be kind to your neighbors, and keep your powder dry. See y'all next time here at Gun Sanctuary. Now go get some range time in and let me know what guns y'all think ain't worth the money.